Yeah! Here we go!
It's time for TSS Fantasy.
It is Commissioner Cooper.
Hold on. That's a big balls move. Do you want your title?
Happy Sunday. Happy early morning trash football game.
Yes! We're back, baby! Let's go!
Feud with Aaron Rodgers. I almost got banned off TikTok for the thing that
repaired MCL sprain on his knee. He has had some nagging hamstring issues over the years.
D. Lots of fun words start with D, like bye weeks.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is Commissioner Cooper, and it's time for TSS Fantasy.
I had to look around. No one else is here.
I know. Let's go. LeDuc with the big fill in there. Appreciate that. Yeah. I'm coming to you live from Philadelphia, which I was witness to last night's Thursday night football game that we'll talk about here shortly. That was very interesting for sure. All right, well, let's get things started. We'll pay the bills, of course, first. If you're watching on YouTube, do us a solid, give us a like, throw your comments in, and of course, subscribe to the channel. Little things stopping you from doing it, big things popping for us when you do, so we do appreciate you. Also, don't forget, go to Underdog Fast Draft app. If you're looking to do some daily fantasy, use our promo code TSS. We'll double your deposit up to $50. So just make sure you get that in. Got daily fantasy. It's got all kind of stuff. I'm so excited. Also, don't forget, if you're looking for championship bling for your fantasy champion, look no further, of course, than Pro-Am Belts. Let's get the introduction started. Only got to do one right now. It's our boy, Mr. Sophistication himself, Andrew LeDuc. Welcome in, my friend.
There'll be no face spitting tonight, which is good news. I will not be ejected before this show starts.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Me oh my. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit more here in a little bit because I've got a lot to say about that for sure. All right. Well, of course, I don't want to keep our man waiting. I mean, his paycheck is big enough. Don't want to make it any bigger because he gets paid by the hour. And Brian Scott from the Injury List podcast to talk some injury news.
It's time to get your latest NFL injury updates with Brian from the Injured List podcast. The doctor is in.
The doctor is in tonight. Football is here, Bri. I hope you're excited.
Oh, I'm excited. I was just watching I got the game on here on YouTube on my little iPad sitting in front of me, and a bunch of YouTubers were featured in the opening segment. I think I knew one. So I was proud of myself for at least knowing one. I'm dating myself, but hey.
You're not too old yet, Brian.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up. Let's give a quick shout out to YouTube. Hey, we're here waiting. I mean, forget Peyton and Eli. We got you. Like we can easily go through a game, man.
Easily.
Let's go.
Easily.
All right, check out our highlight reel from croquet.
So what we got on the injured list today going into Sunday football? I know we got some people got some questions on, some guys that may be questionable going into this week. What do you say?
Yeah, I've got a list here. It's a short list, but these are probably the most guys I've gotten asked about. And so we're going to go through them here real quick. America's team has got a couple injuries they were dealing with at the running back position, as you know, Commish. Jalen Wright underwent some type of minor procedure. They were quoted as saying, I don't know what that means. It was on the lower part of his leg. They were already ruled him out for week 1. He's not on IR. They're saying September-ish. My guess would probably be at least 2 weeks, and that's only because if they did do a minor procedure and they had to make an incision, you want to make sure that incision is healed. It doesn't sound like there was any major reconstructive surgery for this procedure, but there's been very little detail about what exactly it was that was done. And this has all been confirmed by Miami Dolphins staff and the organization. And then Devon Achane, he's back. His calf thing is good. So he'll get the starting role now. Jalen Wright was originally, I think, supposed to be the backup anyway, but now they got that rookie that everyone's been touting. It looks like he's going to be the backup role, so there you go.
Gordon, pick him
Ollie
up.
Gordon, yep, there you go. Then this could be at least a couple weeks, and my estimation is going to be at least 2 weeks. We'll have to see whether or not Jalen Wright gets back out there in a practice field. Moving right along at the wide receiver position, Jaden Reed of the Packers. Miraculously, he's trying to play through a Jones fracture, which is a fracture of the fifth metatarsal in the foot. We hear a lot about this type of injury, and the reason we hear a lot about it is usually it's fixed with surgery, especially an NFL player. My guess is they recommended he do it, and he decided not to, and he's going to try to play through it. So he's carrying a questionable tag and probably will carry a questionable tag every week until he decides to have surgery or shut it down. He was at a limited practice session yesterday and today. It's going to be probably a week-by-week thing. They're saying that he was gearing up to play this week. I don't think he's going to. I think they're going to look maybe toward a week 2 game situation since he only got a limited session in yesterday and today. But I will say this. You're going to know right away what you got with him once he steps on the field in game time, because there's only so much he's going to be able to do through that. It really becomes a matter of pain with tolerance and pain thresholds. So if he has a good showing next week, if he suits up, it might not get any better than that. So hopefully he does have a good showing and his foot doesn't affect him much, but there's a real strong possibility that this could get worse as time goes on, because it certainly won't get better. And at some point, he's probably going to end up having surgery. It has a high non-union rate to begin with, and when you're playing on it, it's never going to heal. So I'm not sure why they're going this route, but we'll have to see if that changes.
I have a quick question on that, just real quick. Sorry to interrupt you, but if he did decide to have surgery, how long would you expect him to be out for? Because that makes me wonder, like, why is he trying to suck it up, basically? How long would he be out?
So you minimum 6 weeks, probably. Yeah, and that's
okay.
And that's
a long time.
Pretty standard. Yeah, maybe as early as 4, but that's being very optimistic. Physiologically speaking, it usually takes about 6 weeks for everything to fully fuse, even with surgery. So it would be in that range, though. But at least 4. So that would mean
something to keep an eye out, though.
Yeah, and it'll probably end up with him going on IR, so they can free up a roster spot. But we'll have to see. Khalil Shakir I've been asked a lot about him. He's back at 3 full practice sessions this week with that high ankle sprain. He's had enough time to recover. I think they did it correctly. It happened a little bit earlier in the preseason, so they shut him down right away. It sounds like he's ready to go and should be 100%. Jawan Jennings with the 49ers, he was dealing with this calf injury and was also dealing with some contractual stuff that was going on. They got an MRI of his calf, and then shortly thereafter, he signed a new contract, which basically had a lot of incentives built in, which centered around playing time. And part of the reason he got that MRI was they wanted to make sure that he was on the mend and good. Turns out the calf looked like it was completely healed. He's been cleared. He's got a new contract. He's going to get incentivized to play, and so he will be playing. Josh Downs was dealing with a hamstring issue throughout the last few weeks of preseason here. Not listed anymore on the week 1 report. It sounds like he's been fully cleared. He had a couple weeks where he was really recovering and rehabbing from this. It hopefully won't linger. But again, high re-injury rate with hamstring injuries, so keep an eye on that. Darnell Mooney with the Falcons, some type of shoulder issue. It could be a re-aggravation of an injury he had last season. He was limited in practice. It doesn't sound like he's going to go this week. It's going to be probably a week-by-week thing. We'll see what happens as he kind of ramps up his activity next week. They haven't really been too specific about what the injury is, just some type of shoulder thing. Christian Kirk, hamstring issue. He had his injury more recently. I think he's going to be out at least until week 2, possibly a little longer. They've already ruled him out for this weekend. And then at the tight end position, Cade Cotton, he was cleared. He was coming off a groin issue. It sounded like it was just some soreness, maybe nothing really serious there. No further designation that he is carrying. And then Isaiah Likely. Now, Isaiah Likely had foot surgery for a fractured bone in his foot. They didn't say which one. I don't think it was a Jones fracture. They haven't really said. His recovery is continuing. He's about a little over 4 weeks now from when he had the surgery. I'm guessing maybe 2 more weeks before we see him back. closer to that 6-week mark from the actual procedure, again, which would make sense. So we'll have to keep an eye on him right now. He's not on IR, so they are anticipating him being back soon. It's going to be probably week by week, but he's already ruled out officially for week 1. And so that's it for now. We'll have to see what happens after this Sunday and Monday, and whether or not more players end up on the list.
Indeed. I have a quick question for you regarding Christian McCaffrey, because I know he popped up.
Yes.
Ironically, calf in his name.
Literally a kickoff last night.
Yeah. So I
46
hear all
seconds
this
beforehand, actually.
Right.
To be exact.
I hear all this, and now it's reminiscent of last season. But then I spread something today where he said it was something minor, and he said, unfortunately, with the history that I have, like, people kind of blow things out of proportion. So I just want to know what your concern, how much concern you have for him being like legit injured again.
I tend to agree with his statement. I think it was probably just blown out of proportion. He probably had a little soreness, maybe some cramps in the calf after practice session and preseason games this last weekend, and they probably were just being extra special cautious given the history that of last preseason and how that kind of unfolded and spiraled way out of control. He's not looking to go down that road again, and the 49ers are not looking for that to happen either. So I think they were just being extra cautious. I'm not worried about it at all. And then I overlooked there was an actual injury last night prior to the spitting incident. The Eagles fullback blew out his ACL on like a barely contact.
Oh, so it was ACL.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure. It kind of looked like it could have been Achilles too, so I wasn't 100% sure at the time. Okay, ACL.
Yeah, ACL. So that's a tough break there. Like literally the first play of the game. Like.
Yeah, I saw that, but then in my head I'm like, I didn't even know fullback was a position anymore, because it's not like anyone really utilizes one, primarily. So that's still a shitty injury to any player, obviously, but. All right, well, check out Bri, of course, on all social media at the Injured List Podcast, and give you some up-to-date injury news as it becomes available. And then, of course, check him out Sunday morning right here on TSS Fantasy. Probably give us about the same report, but if something new comes up, he'll be there to answer any questions you guys have, so we appreciate you. All right, Bri, we're going to send you out with our friends from NeuroGuard Plus.
Love the guys at NeuroGuard. Good product, great product. Try it out. Dr. Michael Hutchison has harnessed the latest in neuromuscular dentistry and impact technology to develop a mouthguard that does more than protect. It enhances. NeuroGuard Plus isn't just a mouthguard. By focusing on the jaw's physiological position, it provides an added layer of neuroprotection, significantly reducing the risk of sports-related neurological injuries. All athletes should be using a custom mouthguard designed to their bite position. NeuroGuard Plus was created as a means to maintain your physiological jaw position regardless of your bite. The appliance is designed to optimize your upper-lower jaw relationship to improve your strength, your balance, your oxygen intake, and drastically lower your chance of a concussion. Independent studies have shown that the NeuroGuard Plus will provide you with improvement to both upper and lower body strength. The same improvements were not present with a common mouthguard. Over 6,500 athletes have used the NeuroGuard Plus. Dr. Hutchison is happy to say that the amount of diagnosed concussions is 0.2%. The NeuroGuard Plus offers athletes, coaches, and parents an advantage to keep their players safe on the field. If you or your child actively participates in athletics, they need to be protected from the dangers of repetitive head trauma. Get your NeuroGuard Plus mouthguard today. Click on the link and use code ILPSports for 10% discount on your purchase.
And it's too bad Brian left, because as we're watching the Friday night game, Xavier Worthy running into his own player, looks like he might have separated his shoulder, some type of shoulder injury for sure. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that. That's big news for somebody who might want to pick up Hollywood Brown or one of these other receivers, because you ain't got they don't got Rasheed Rice for a while, so this could be a big hit. But
he looks like he's in a lot of pain too.
Yeah, it could be. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think the fear here isn't necessarily so much the shoulder being dislocated or separated as the potential of a tearing that went along with it, because that was he ran right into Travis Kelce in a very
It
hard.
wasn't Travis. Yeah.
It was
Okay.
Travis Kelce. Yeah. So Kelce already off to a rip-roaring start for his team this year.
Well, to be fair to Worthy, he wasn't even staring at Patrick Mahomes. He wasn't even looking. So that was one of those like hits that you just boom. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. It could be interesting. The Chargers now. Wow,
baby. The drive.
Big play. They're driving already. So it's gonna be interesting. LeDuc's pick.
Quentin Johnson.
LeDuc's pick coming through. All right. Let's talk about last night's game.
Breaking news. The boys from TSS Fantasy still don't know what the hell they are talking about.
All right, here we go.
Yeah,
he was watching. He's on it. This is why you got to go follow Brian on social media. He's already it looked like that was the same Brian. Same thing I was looking at, the way he was holding his stuff there. Hopefully, just a sprain in the AC joint, but it did look worse. I agree with you.
Brian, all right, let's of our analysis because I think we said the same thing.
That's right. See, Brian, you're teaching us something. All right, let's talk about last night in Philadelphia to kick things off. Eagles win 24-20. And in a game with a lot of craziness. The pregame, we had a rain delay. This is how we kick off the NFL. It's got to love it. Just talk about the stats real quick. Dak Prescott had a non-meaningful night for fantasy, but I'm watching it live, and I don't know how it looked on TV, but he looked good to me.
It looked good.
He looked real good. 188 in the air. The big news, though, really for their team fantasy-wise, was Javonte Williams. Welcome all those people that picked you really late because they were rewarded in week one if they had the gumption to put you in their lineup. 54 yards on the ground only, but those 2 TDs made a big difference. He had 2 catches for 10 yards as well. That was the big fantasy go-getter. And then obviously CeeDee Lamb having a big night, 7 receptions, 110 yards. George Pickens, 3 receptions for 30 yards. And Jake Ferguson mixed in with 5 receptions as well. And I will say about George Pickens, there was a few passes just like CeeDee Lamb that he could have gotten. Even though he's pass interfered with on a couple, the one out of the corner of the end zone, which is kind of way out of there. So it wasn't really his fault, but you can see how they're incorporating it in. And I'll just say this also, we're talking about the Cowboys real quick. Worthy's going to the locker room. So I had that
on his head, and he's walking in a way that he's really like pissed off and down at the moment.
He's in trouble. Xavier Worthy owners, I'm sorry for you. So big credit to the Cowboys secondary last night because it's different when you're there and you're watching it, man. Because the people there were complaining, "Where's AJ Brown? Where's Devonta Smith?" Well, what I saw is they were covered, and they were completely covered all night. So hands off to the Cowboys secondary. They did a great job last night. Speaking of the Eagles, though, 152 yards in the air for Jalen Hurts, but what really hurt opposing players for your fantasy lineup was he had 62 yards on the ground and 2 rushing TDs. Making him the rushing leader basically of the game. Saquon had an okay night, 60. It's okay for Saquon. It's great for anyone else. 60 yards and a TD, and then he had 4 receptions for 24 yards.
18 points. You'll take that.
Yeah, I'm taking that all day, of course. It's a little disappointing, though, because some people taking this guy number 1 overall, so of course they're a little disappointed from last night. And Jahan Dotson was the yardage leader as far as receptions, 3 receptions for 59 yards. Dallas got it. Ooh-wee. And I kept hearing like the experts kind of poo-pooing Goddard all offseason. 7 receptions, 44 yards wasn't crazy, but for a tight end position, man, that is a solid night all day long. And I mentioned the disappointment from the Eagles receivers: 3 receptions, 16 yards for Devonta Smith, and 1 reception for 8 yards for AJ Brown. So I know those owners are a bit disappointed. I'm just gonna say this: we got a touchdown.
Quentin Johnson touchdown.
I must be a little behind on mine. Justin Herbert off to a nice start here tonight. So anyway, just real quick analysis of last night's game. First of all, we can talk about the spitting incident real quick, and I just want to say it kind of makes me sick listen to the media talking about how, that's disgusting. Listen, at the end of the day, these guys do this all the time. This is just happened to be caught on camera. And to denounce Jalen Carter and to not say anything about what Dak did, I think is ridiculous. And for Dak to come out and be like, "Oh, I just spit." We know what you were doing. You guys were yapping. You spit at him, and not, you weren't going to hit him with it. Now, Jalen Carter might have went a little overboard, obviously, but there's a lot of emotion, especially on a first in football in general. But you're talking about a first game. Everyone's all fired up. So to me, I thought it was just, I think we're all getting a little overboard with the situation, because quite honestly, like I said, they do this. They've been doing this for I don't know how long. I've seen players do all kind of crazy things that just happened to be caught on camera. Obviously, the ejection played a big part in the game, too. Even Dak mentioned, they changed their blocking scheme immediately when it happened. And you could tell a big difference, obviously, in that as well. So, maybe last night wouldn't have been as close as it was if he was in the game. But anyway, so that's my little analysis of the game. And again, it's week 1. Teams are just filling each other out. So I wasn't really, it just kind of was what it was at that point. So, anywho, what did you think of last night's game?
So I thought the game obviously started off with a bang, and then I thought even after the shenanigans of the spitting and the ejection and whatnot, I think that was a lot of that was because of Jalen Carter's reputation of people thinking he's immature. He did not help himself at all. Like that's the main thing there. Like whatever Dak did, either way, he started off the season not helping himself. So that's bad news for him right there alone. But regardless, I thought the way the game started after all that, the offense was going back and forth, touchdown for touchdown, and even field goal mixed in. It was a highly entertaining game. Unfortunately, the weather delay halfway through the third quarter, or really towards the end of the third quarter, kind of took and you kind of expected it. Once they come back from that, both teams were going to be flat. Nothing really happened after that. I had said from the beginning that it almost felt like the Eagles were planning for, like, the first half was planned to be a tight end kind of half. Like, those seemed to be plays designed for Dallas Goedert. They weren't checked out. Seems like they went in with a game plan and they were executing it. And then I was kind of expecting the second half to be, okay, let's see if we can break our receivers free. I think the weather delay kind of screwed with that and just caused them to kind of pull back and rein in a little bit. So I'm not too worried about the Eagles wide receivers going forward. I think it was just an unfortunate situation with the game plan and with the weather. Overall, though, great first game. Good first rivalry game. The whole game was chippy. I'm here for that.
Mm-hmm.
Just as long as it stays respectful in my eyes, I'm perfectly fine with the guys pushing and shoving each other.
100%. And I will say this, though. I said the exact same thing you did while I was sitting there. I'm like, this had to be, their game plan. They were going to give them a little bit of, this and that. And then next thing, next thing going to come out with the receivers.
Right.
But then, like I said, I don't think it was the rain delay. The Cowboys secondary was draped all over both guys. I was really, because I kept saying to myself, like, what is going on? So I'm like, I started to pay attention more to the receiver. I'm like, man, he's got it covered. There's nowhere to go.
See, like you said, we can't see that on TV with every play because you're
right. Yeah.
In, so
exactly. So that's exactly. But I was in the same mindset as you were, right? And I kept telling my wife the same thing. I was like, oh, they're gonna feed the receiver in the second half. That to me was the biggest, eye-opening thing. I was like, wow, this Cowboys defense is okay. So we'll see going forward. They just had a good game plan. I will want to say, I'll close out this with 2 other quick thoughts. Number 1, we need to stop giving the Eagles fans a bad rap, because there were quite a few Cowboys fans. And yeah, they got their balls busted, of course, but there was no fights. I didn't see anything crazy. It was just, some good banter going back and forth. So I'm done listening to the Eagles, This is the third game I've been to in Philly, and I haven't seen any of that. So blah, blah, blah. And then the last thing I want to say is it's completely ironic in a game full of stats and things like that. My wife and I came up here after the Eagles won last time, and they started out against Atlanta, and the same damn rain delay happened in that game. It's like a damn tradition now. So
just attracting the lightning.
It's just crazy. I know the Florida weather just starting to follow me up here for the first game. So anyway, just kind of a crazy little stat I'd throw out there for you.
Sure.
All right.
And one last thing to your point on Dak Prescott legitimately just looking good, even though the stats weren't there. The main thing I noticed about Prescott was him moving. Last year, he looked so timid and unwilling to move out of the pocket. He looked, I don't want to say scared, that's way too strong a word, but he didn't look comfortable moving. Last night, he was rolling out, he's throwing on the run, he's finding he was creating time for himself. big sign for the Cowboys going forward. All those people that took Dak late, it's starting to look more and more likely if he stays healthy, he could be a top 5 quarterback this year.
Really could. And, to your point, when he broke out of that one, and it was like a sack or something, Cam, it was kind of a buzz, fuzz, if you will. But
came back on the sideline, that one.
Yeah, I mean, and the way he was breaking, like just able to get free, I was like, wow, I was real impressed with Dak last night. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think he's set for a good season. All right, well, that was last night. We got tonight going on, but we got to worry about this Sunday because that's when lineups are getting set. So our boy Justin Jesus Herrera is here. Let's get ready. It's time for the Friday Night Breakdown.
It's time to get your lineup set with TSS Fantasy's Friday Night Breakdown.
Breakdown.
Bring it on down. Breakdown.
Bring it on down.
Bring it on down.
Freddie, always number one in your playbook, but never here for your podcast. Justin Jesus Herrera, welcome in, my friend. Appreciate you for joining us this evening.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. I will say this, though. If another grown man spits in my direction, there will be hands thrown. There will be. There is no doubt about it. There is hands fucking thrown. And I don't care if somebody spit, on the ground. If they're spitting near your shoe, you're going to get a fucking – I don't care if you're 5 times my size, you're getting a fist in your face at least once.
Right. I mean, we were just talking about that. That's why I said it makes me sick to hear national media jump on. Now, I'm not condoning what Jalen Carter did, mind you. That was, it was bad in itself. Though I'm not sitting here saying he should have. But, but nobody's saying it about Dak. Like, oh, everybody's kind of believing Dak's like, oh, I wasn't spitting. Get the fuck out of here. Like, I mean, come on, bro. Like, are we
I think the problem is we didn't see it on camera, right? We just saw the fucking loogie come from Jalen Carter, and we're like, oh, motherfucker. Like, I think every man in the fucking world went, this motherfucker. Like, I immediately, that's the first thing I said was, this fucking motherfucker. I want to fucking knock his head off right now. And I know I can't do that because he's like 5 times my size, but I still want to do it. But yeah, if Dak's fat towards him first, then fuck Dak because he started that shit.
And then to hear him, the press conference after saying, oh, well, I wasn't going to spit on my, so I just spit on the ground. And you saw his face on the camera. He was smiling at Jay. He knew what the hell he was doing. So I just think that was just silly. So either way, I really I hope that Jalen Carter's not suspended. Quite frankly, because if you're going to suspend him, you better suspend Dak too. That's why I feel about it, quite frankly. All right, let's get this on. We got a whole list of games we got to talk about tonight. Let's start out with the game of the week. America's team, the Miami Dolphins, visiting the Indianapolis Colts. Now, this is all from last season. Obviously, things have changed. But last season, Miami, number 1 defense against QBs. They were 15th against the run, 3rd against receivers, 19th against tight ends. Colts were 10th against QBs, 22nd against running backs. Receivers, they were 22nd. And for against tight ends, they were 30th. Although no Darren Waller for us this way. I should have asked Brian Scott about that. Big surprise, no Darren Waller. All right, let's go. We'll go to Justin first. So just got in. Let's cover that home team. Give me guys you like and don't like in the matchup.
Who's the home team again?
The Colts. Sorry, my bad.
Colts. Oh, okay, perfect. Because I didn't want to talk about the Dolphins. I didn't want to break your little heart.
I gave it to LeDuc.
Yeah. I actually like Jonathan Taylor in this one. I think this is going to be a huge game for Tyler Warren. Big come-out game for him. Rookie debut. Unfortunately, with Daniel Jones, you don't want to start him. And more importantly, you don't want to start more than 2 options. So I would probably stick with just those 2 as my guys. Even though Downs is really good in PPR, Pittman is here and there. He's more of a wide receiver 3 and a wide receiver 1 body. I mean, that dude really needs to get out of Indianapolis. But for right now, I'll just stick with solid starts, Jonathan Taylor and Tyler Warren. And the defense, because I think that Tua's going to get picked off a couple times.
Oh, my God. Whatever. All right. What do you think, LeDuc? On the visiting America's team, give me some guys you like, don't like on that side.
Yeah, so the main guy that I like here, obviously, like we were saying in the injury list, Ollie Gordon is definitely the guy to watch here in this matchup. Shane is not 100%. We'll see what he's going to play, it seems like, but we'll see what that looks like. We all know what Tyreek Hill looks like. I want to see how Jalen Waddle looks, though, because he seems to have been mostly forgotten about this offseason because he had a rough year last year. But let's be honest, the Dolphins' offense as a whole last year, like, they were a little bit in shambles. So Jalen Waddle is still a talented guy. I think Jalen Waddle could surprise some people starting right away in week 1. So I like Waddle. I like Ollie Gordon. And then, yeah, you already said it. Don't touch any of these Miami tight ends. I mean, it's not going to be that kind of game.
What tight end? But let me just say this too. That's the same thing you're saying about Waddle could be easily applied to Tyreek Hill. So I love the fact that people are saying, without Tua last year, Tyreek. Don't forget, we had to get a guy off the street to come be our quarterback. So to sit here and denounce Tyreek about, when Tua's not in, we had no backup. So at least we have somewhat of a backup now, a couple backups now that I think will be fine. But again, Tua with Tyreek, first game, hello, give me that all day long. All right, let's go to the second matchup. The Steelers visit the stinky, disgusting Jets. Again, last season, but the Steelers were 5th against QBs, 6th against running backs, 15th against receivers, and they're 18th against tight ends. Jets 18th against QBs, 16th against running backs, 4th against receivers, and 15th against tight ends. LeDuc, let's start with you. Let's talk about that visiting Steeler team.
Yeah, so this Steelers team, if there's going to be a game that I think Aaron Rodgers could be useful, it's going to be this first game, the quote-unquote revenge game against the Jets here. It's also just the first game. Like, if this once we see it all the time with guys where they game plan specifically for this game. They have so much time to prep for it. Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, probably out to prove something. So I actually like both of them this week. You could probably play Aaron Rodgers in DFS and at pretty low ownership. So I like that. I'm going to stay mostly away from the running backs for now just to see how it shakes. I want to see how it shakes out. We know what Jalen Warren is. Caleb Johnson seems exciting, but I got to kind of see how that shakes out. I'm not really willing to take that risk when there's a lot of other more worthwhile risks at the running back position across the league this year.
I like it. And if you're watching us, by the way, right now, not watching the Chargers and Chiefs game, I'm just going to let you know that the Chiefs had now punted and have pinned the Chargers and within 5, I think it was like the 3-yard line. So right now, Chargers up 7-0 with the ball. Check that out. All right, Justin, talk about those stinky, disgusting Jets.
Yeah, so they're pretty stinky and disgusting, that's for sure. It's like a diaper full of Indian food. That's what that is.
Oh,
Anchorman reference. Hey. Smells like Bigfoot's dick. No, but anyways, I'll say, Justin Fields is not an option for me in this game. I feel like you never really want to take the guy who's playing against his former team. Like, it just sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. I kind of have a feeling this is not going to work out because the Steelers have a good defense. Wouldn't mind getting Garrett Wilson in there. If he got at the price that he held, he's a wide receiver too. He's not bad. PPR. He's definitely going to be getting passes. And then the kicker. I'll take the kicker because I think that there's been kicking field goals all day long. So 3 field goals, that's 9 points, boys. If you get one over 50 yards, that's 10. So there you go.
I mean, to your point, if you started Jake Elliott and the opposing team had, say, Devonta Smith or A.J. Brown in, you're feeling pretty good right now. So good point there.
All right, if you started Brandon Aubrey and the opposing team had Dak Prescott, you're feeling pretty good too.
I feel you. All right, let's go to another barn burner on 1 o'clock. The Carolina Panthers against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Last season, Carolina 29th against QBs. They were dead last against running backs, 25th against receivers, and 27th against tight ends. Jags not so good neither. 26th against QBs, 27th against running backs, 26th against receivers, and 24th against tight ends. All right, Justin, we'll start with you. Give me that home team love for those Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, so actually I love this game for the Jaguars. I'm excited to see what the team looks like. At this point, if you have a better option than ETN or Tank Bigsby, I'd be okay with it. Just like LeDuc said about about committees, you kind of want to figure out what's going to go down and who's going to be the guy there. It's kind of like Bucky Irving, Rashad White. You didn't know who was going to play what role. So I'll let that play out. But this is the perfect time to start Travis Hunter. A lot of the times these splashy rookies have big week ones. And then it's a perfect time for me to always play Brian Thomas Jr. Trevor Lawrence is 100% on the block from at this point. I love this matchup for Lawrence. I think the other side, Carolina, is going to have to keep on scoring. And, it's going to be an offensive game. So if you're looking at anything in this game, it might be the kicker as well. Cam Little. Remember Cam Little? He could kick it for 70 yards. He did it in the preseason game. He's like another Brandon Aubrey. But I'd go T-Law, BTR, Hunter, and then the kicker.
Yeah,
don't play any of the defenses.
It's funny you say that because I actually have Cam Little in 2 different leagues that I picked because of his deep threat, if you will. And it was funny because he was on X, which I'm not very happy with because we're still suspended and we don't know why. But he was on X and he was tweeting the kicker rankings and he wasn't even on them. I think it went up to like 15 or 20 and he wasn't even on it. So he tweeted that, made like some kind of like, eye emoji or something. And I was so mad because I wanted to screenshot my 2 teams with them on it because I'm like, I got you, bro. I see you. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty funny you brought him up. All right, LeDuc, talk about those Carolina Panthers.
I am all about Chuba Hubbard this week and this season. I love it. Like Justin said, I do think there's going to be some scoring in this game, and I think the Panthers are going to have to throw. So I think they're going to be looking his way too to try to get Bryce Young comfortable and going here. So I expect a lot of dink and dunks to him. And then with that same game plan, like obviously people are excited to see McMillan and Leggett see if they can get going. No one's talking about Jatavian Sanders, and I have consistently ranked him very high in my tight ends compared to everybody else this season. I may or may not have talked to somebody within the Panthers organization this summer, and Jatavian Sanders, from everything he has said, is a leader on this team. He's a beast. He puts in the time and the work, and he's very much liked by his teammates, and that typically can add up to some opportunities. He's not just a blocking tight end. Tommy Tremble will be the main blocking tight end. Jatavian Sanders is basically just a slightly bigger receiver. So watch out for Sanders because, like I said, if the game plan does go to be some more short slants, dink and dunks, he can very much be a part of that game plan.
I'm going to give Justin a little credit. I didn't even hear about this guy until last year. Justin was all over Jatavian Sanders last season. Just might have been a little too early on him, but, Justin recognized the talent anyway. So, we'll see.
I appreciate that because I was on Jatavian Sanders early last year and I was on Theo Johnson early last year. And I tend to always be a year early on those types of things. So.
Hey, whatever. At least you're shouting them out. So good stuff, man. All right, let's go to another big barn burner at 1:00. The Arizona Cardinals at the New Orleans Saints. Cardinals last year 17th against QBs, 29th against running backs. They were 17th against receivers and 6th against tight ends. On the Saints side, QB, they were 20th against the running backs. They were 19th against receivers. They were 29th and against tight ends, 14th. All right, so let's go. We'll go back to LeDuc, talk about the visiting Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, this is a James Conner game all the way in my eyes. I feel like Arizona's going to get up fairly early and then kind of cruise here. I'm not scared of the Saints at all. So I'm not necessarily predicting a ceiling game for Marvin Harrison or Trey McBride necessarily. I think out of those two, Trey McBride probably is the bigger day. But this seems like James Conner could easily get in the end zone twice this week and be in the top 10, put up around 20 points. So James Conner is the main guy I'm liking here. As far as guys I don't like on this team necessarily, just don't go too deep down the wide receiver list, I don't think. Maybe Michael Wilson gets one big pop play, but like I said, this seems like it's going to be a very kind of controlled, quick game.
Yeah, it's Marvin Harrison as a wide receiver too, and that's about it, man. I'm feeling you on that. All right, what do you, Justin? I'm sorry, but what do you think about the home team, the Saints?
Yeah. Okay. This one's really gonna. I'm gonna have to work my magic for this one because I have to. Like, I can only imagine how the people that have to go watch this game have to feel. They have to get up in the morning and go, "Yeah, I'm going to watch a Saints game," in their Saints gear and everything. But I would say this, tried and true Alvin Kamara, and yeah, if you want to take yourself a shot, go ahead and take yourself a shot on somebody like a Rashid Shaheed or something like that. But only do that in DFS. Otherwise, no. Just no.
You would think there is a world where the Cardinals get up big and the Saints are just garbage timing passing yards. So that to your point, there may be a quick little breakout of something from Rashid Shaheed. I'm trying. This is hard to do the podcast and watch the game at the same time. Chargers with a big gain. And then fumbled the ball, but it looks like it went out of bounds. Looks like a flag on the play as well. So
yes, Tyler Conklin. So the flag is that when Conklin fumbled the ball, McConkey, when he dove to get the ball, he purposely hit it out of bounds, which is a penalty. So that's what it is. So I believe the ball will still be out of bounds where it was, and the penalty should be back from that spot. So it'll still be a big game, I believe.
Yeah, still a big game. Still the Chargers up 7-0, and now threatening, well, not quite threatening yet, but it looks like they're on their way to get some more points on the board.
Yeah, that was actually a big loss from that spot. I think that was a 15-yarder.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Sorry, it's trying to read and watch. It's all kind of craziness. All right, let's go to the next one. The Giants at the Commanders. So we got Giants last year 22nd against QBs, 31st against running backs, 16th against receivers, and they're 4th against tight ends. Commanders 19th against QBs, 24th against running backs, 8th against receivers, 8th against tight ends. So, all right, Justin, we gave you a bad one. Now I'll give you a good one. Talk about those Commanders.
Yeah, well, this is still kind of like an okay one for me. I'm not huge on the Commanders right now. Obviously you start Jaden Daniels. The running back room is flip a fucking coin. I don't know. I think you stay away from that as much as possible. I don't care if Eckler gets the job. I don't care if Bill Cosby gets the job, Bill Krosky, whatever he wants to call himself. Just don't eat the pudding pie.
Just give a nickname.
Hey, he wanted to be Bill. Who wants to be Bill with a name like that, with a last name like that? Come on now, read the room, son. He might be too young for those jokes. But anyways, I'll say Terry McLaurin for sure, and then Zach Ertz. Just keep it simple. Keep it simple. The Giants are going to be good. Pass rush wise, Jaden Daniels is going to need to get it out. He's going to look for his two guys. He's going to look for the guy who's been in camp with him. He's going to look for the guy who's been reliable last year.
So, real quick, I just want to comment. Marion Hampton it was only like a 10-yard run, but God, he looks good. Ooh,
yeah, it was a powerful looking run.
He looks good. All right, Leduc, what do we think about those Giants?
Oh yes, Giants. I got so wrapped up in the game that I was watching that I had to talk with the Giants. Gosh. No, look, when people are high on the Giants, I do think they're going to be better this year. So this is, I think you got to start Malik Neighbors. Obviously, you draft him that high. You got to play him no matter what. I'm a little worried in this matchup that Russell Wilson has a few turnovers, though. So I don't think this is a ceiling game for Neighbors, and I'm not necessarily excited about Tyrone Tracy. I feel like he's still going to get the majority of the work over Cam Scatterbo, but people are really looking for Scatterbo, and I'm not ready to be excited about that either yet. So this does not seem like a game that is going to pop off necessarily for me. So like I said, Malik Neighbors, but other than that, I think it's floor games for everybody.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a wait and see on both of these running back cores, pretty much. Like, let's kind of see how this plays out. But I do like Malik, and I do like Wandell on this matchup because Wandell Robinson, and exactly, he's a good PPR play. And if you're, he's just one of those guys nobody really talked about. So it's somebody else, maybe in DFS, you can get real cheap. All right, let's go on to the next one. The Buccaneers are at the Atlanta Falcons. Bucks last season were 31st against QBs, 7th against running backs, 28th against receivers, and they were 28th against tight ends. The Falcons, 26th against QBs, 11th against running backs. They were 31st against receivers and 13th against tight ends. All right, so what say you, LeDuc, on this game? Talk about those Buccaneers.
I love this game. I think this is going to be a point game from both sides. I think Atlanta's going to be able to keep pace for a little while here. That Bucs defense is still pretty good, though. So, like, I can't. I'm not talking about Atlanta. Never mind. Never mind. But no, I love Baker Mayfield. He's going to be in my DFS lineup this week. Amika Ibuka with Chris Godwin out. This is going to be a smash game one for him, especially with the matchup against Atlanta. So Mike Evans is going to get his. I bet you Mike Evans gets in the end zone. But I think I could see Mayfield throwing for 3 touchdowns. Bucky getting 2. Like, I'm starting everybody. I am. I love this game. I love this matchup.
Yeah, I'd definitely go the over in this for sure. What do you think, LeDuc, about the Dirty Birds?
Justin, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's all right. I've never looked that good. I've never looked that good in my life. But anyways, yeah, kind of along the same lines. You're going to start everybody who's important for the Falcons. You're going to put your Drake London. You're going to put your Michael Penix. You put your B. John Robinson. One surprise could be go ahead and try and put Kyle Pitts in.
Yeah.
Darnell Mooney is injured. If there's ever a chance, it's now. And if he fails you like he's failed you so many times before, then say bye, Felicia, and get the hell out. Get the hell out of the Kyle Pitts business.
Bucks last season, 28th against tight ends. So as you said, this could be the spot for him. See if they've improved that this year. And definitely a good spot for Pitts. I agree with you. All right, let's go on to the next one. Justin will be excited about talking about this team. The Bengals at the Browns. The Bengals are last season 27th against QBs, 13th against running backs, 14th against receivers, and they were 31st against tight ends. Browns, 9th against QBs, 5th against running backs, 23rd, though, against receivers, and 25th against tight ends. So, Justin, who we got on the Browns?
So you said I was going to be excited for this one, and then I heard Bengals, and I was just like, Bengals? And then you said at the Browns, and I was like, fuck. This is a game that I am slowly starting to think in my head, what if this is like one of those weird, rare games where Joe Flacco has 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, and he's just gunslinging and showing what he could do back in the day, and shows against Joe Burrow, and they just have a fantastic, shot-for-shot game. And then I realized that we're in 2025, and Joe Flacco is almost like 400,000 years old. So I'm gonna stay away from a lot of Browns. What I'm gonna do is, if I have Jerry Jeudy, I will put him in as a wide receiver 2. At best, flex is my favorite spot for Jerry Jeudy. And then, you know what? David Njoku also had some of his best weeks ever in fantasy with Joe Flacco. So, pardon me, I'm eating on the side too. But if those are my only 2 that I will put in with any confidence, and that is Njoku and Jeudy, because I can't trust my instincts.
Yeah,
literally, I start putting things out there, and I go, "Oh shit, this can be great," and then it's like, "Nah, it's actually a shit show."
Well, yeah, it's funny because every time you say something, it turns out the opposite. Because I do distinctly us talking about the Eagles-Cowboys game, and me saying, "Well, the running backs for the Cowboys ain't going to do anything, and possibly Dak Prescott's going to be."
Hey, that was a Jalen Carter thing.
I feel you, but that's no matter what, that's what happened. And we have this anticipation of this game almost being the same thing, where the Cleveland Browns are going to have to throw to even compete in this game. So you would think Joe Flacco would have a good game in this one, but like you said, You never know. All right. Well, LeDuc, I set you up well. Talk about your the Cleveland Browns. Talk about those Bengals.
It's real easy. Burrow, Brown, Chase Higgins. Start them. If you start them, if you got them. Well, if you want to get crazy in DFS and slide in a Mike Gesicki at real cheap, like I don't hate it as well, but it's back to basics with this one.
I'm a little down on chasing it because I know we talk about the Browns, we laugh, but they do have a pretty good front seven. Their line's okay on the defensive front. They're okay. So I'm not big on Chase this week, but everything else, absolutely in love with.
I just think the opportunity is going to be there for them because I think they're going to get up and they're just going to be handing it off.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Totally get it. All right, now I won't do you guys dirty on these next two. Let's talk about the Raiders at the Patriots. The Raiders 30th against QBs, 14th against running backs, 10th against receivers, and 29th against tight ends. New England 3rd against QBs, 25th against running backs, 18th against receivers, and 12th against tight ends. All right, LeDuc, I know it's your turn, so we'll go to you first, but I'm not going to give you the visiting one on this one. Talk about your New England Patriots.
I was actually ready to talk with them because I'm actually nervous about the Patriots just because this matchup with the way things are falling right now is not really favorable. Christian Gonzalez being out for the Patriots is a massive blow considering Brock Bowers and Ashton Genty and Jacoby Myers, like what the game plan of the Raiders offense is going to be. From an offensive standpoint, though, I love Trevion Henderson this week. I think he's going to be perfectly fine. He's going to pop. I think this is going to honestly be kind of a matchup of the running backs. Stephon Diggs will be all right, but this is going to be Trevion Henderson and Hunter Henry week in my eyes. I almost started Hunter Henry in my DFS matchup just because I think, once again, he's trusted and May's going to lean on who he trusts this week. And they're going to try to come out and do what they're comfortable with at the first home game and try to get off to a good start. So it's going to be Henderson and Henry.
It'll be interesting to see if this one becomes a little shootout for sure. But yeah, it's I think New England's defense is pretty damn good. So we'll see how Geno fares.
Secondary's in a little rough shape, unfortunately.
Quick update: the Chargers cannot stop getting flags thrown against them. They got all the way down to like the 3, and then now all of a sudden they got all the way back to like the 30, but they ended up kicking a field goal, looks like. So 10-0 Chargers right now in the early portions of the second quarter. All right, Justin, talk about those Raiders.
Yeah, it's an exciting time to be a Raider fan because you finally have that hope. It's week 1, but it's probably going to get ripped from your hearts and by week 2. I don't think it's going to be this week, though. I think the Raiders, it's an interesting little matchup. I like Geno. Knowing that Christian Gonzalez isn't there, wants me to fire up Deontay Thornton. Not even worried about Jacoby Myers. Fire up Deontay Thornton, man. That dude is going to freaking blaze down the field. And you know that they love big, fast wide receivers. I mean, he took a shot on DK Metcalf after having no college skills whatsoever and said, hell, let's make him into an all-pro type of player. And that's what he's done. Pete Carroll, that is. So, I like the weapons there. I would probably favor Bowers, Thornton, and I don't know about Myers. Myers seems like a little bitch to me. I like the talent, but the way he handled his contract, I was just like, sounds like a Patriot way type of guy.
Now go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, here's the one thing. Here's the one kicker for you. I am not confident that Ashton Genty is gonna have a good debut.
Oh. See, can I actually counter that? Because this is how I think the game's going to go. I think the Raiders are going to try to run the ball down the Patriots' throat to see if they can stop it because they sucked against the run last year, with the distinct purpose of trying to open up the over the top for Thornton randomly because our safeties are not deep. Our cornerbacks are not deep at the moment. So they know the secondary is a factor. I think they're going to try to get everyone try to play up as close as they can, which is why I'd say for DFS, Raheem Mostert crushes the Patriots. He crushes the Patriots. If they're looking to kind of get Genty going, but also if the game plan is going to go that way where they try to run the ball down the Patriots' throat early, they're going to have to mix Mostert in. Mostert has always done good against the Patriots. I'm scared for this game because I do not want to lose week 1 to the Raiders.
Wow. Check that out. I wasn't expecting that. All right.
And more importantly, you're going to lose to Tom Brady again.
Just another little stick catcher there. I like
Tom Brady's coming in with the autumn wind, baby.
Let's go to the 49ers at the Seahawks. So 49ers last year, 16th against running backs, 30th against receivers, 30 against running backs, 7th against receivers. They were 9th against tight ends. The Seahawks, 14th against QBs, 20th against running backs, 21st against receivers, and the same 21st against tight ends. All right, Justin, talk about your 49ers.
So it's a pretty simple game plan. Brock Purdy has owned the Seattle Seahawks since coming into the league. Don't think that's going to change much. Christian McCaffrey has everybody on their heels going like, what the fuck is going on? Like, everybody's terrified now. And I'm just like over here, like, I didn't draft one bit of Christian McCaffrey. I don't give a fuck.
I'm never gonna
I traded away my shares in Dynasty. I don't give a fuck.
It just feels better when you can breathe easier.
No, I'm glad you did. I needed something, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, but Christian McCaffrey hits the field. He's an automatic RB1 type player. Brian Robinson, 100%. I have faith that he can follow up with at least RB2. And the way that they're thinking about it right now from every report is that they're going to supplement them back and forth to try and keep McCaffrey fresh. So would not be surprised if McCaffrey leaves this game either unscathed or with only the injury that he came in with. On the receiving front, Ricky Pearsall's to the moon. I think that, right now, with what they've got at defensive or at DB for Seattle, Devin Witherspoon's going to have to pick. Is he going to go inside against Juwan Jennings or is he going to go outside against Ricky Pearsall? Whoever he doesn't go against, he's going to tear them up. And then George Kittle, always George Kittle. Just always George Kittle.
Come on, you forgot to do it. America's tight end. Let's go.
No, he's not America's tight end. He's the people's tight end.
The people's tight end. All right, my fault. I think you did say America's one time.
America's tight end is Darren Waller.
That's the America that eats at McDonald's every day. All right, what do you think about the Seahawks, LeDuc?
Yeah, I feel like all the teams I've been saying, I like the running backs. I like the running backs again here because I think Seattle knows Brock Purdy kicks their ass every time, so they're going to try to keep him off the field as long as possible. So Kenneth Walker to the moon this week. Obviously, you're going to start JSN. Don't think it's 3 years ago and start Cooper Kupp. Just once again, you got to see how he looks. You got to see how he looks before you even touch him. Another sneaky tight end play though. Don't sleep on Elijah Arroyo. I like the potential there. I'm not saying I'm putting him in any lineups or any DFS or anything, but I think he's got the potential to pop. So just keep an eye on that, and don't be scared that if he looks good week 1, do not be scared to go get him off your waiver wires, because I think if he looks good week 1, in this case, it's a sign of things to come, not a 1 week pop.
I like it. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back and do the rest of the 4s and 8 o'clocks as well. But before we come back, we have a member of our crew that works security who's an actual bouncer, and it's probably not the person you think. It's Meg, believe it or not. And Meg wanted to let us know that when she likes players, she calls it the Meg Zone. She puts them in the Meg Zone. So she wanted to bring that to TSS. Let's check out Meg's Meg Zone.
Yeah, baby, I'm in some Meg Zone today.
Security.
Hey, it's Ballers Meg, and when I love fantasy football players, they get to enter my club, the Meg Zone. Anyone who's not quite making the cut this week will be stopped at the door. The first player who is not getting into the Meg Zone this week is Breece Hall.
Security.
He is over at the Jets, where Aaron Glenn loves a 3 wide receiver program. That means that the chances of him getting any receptions and getting those points up are slimmer. because of that. You've also got Justin Fields, who's got a good set of legs for running the ball as well. So Breece Hall, sorry buddy, you're not getting into the Meg Zone this week. The next player that I'm stopping at the door to the Meg Zone for this week is Tyreek Hill.
Security.
Last season was his lowest all-time finishing score in fantasy football since 2019. He has been plagued with injuries last season. He is fighting fit, he will be playing, but I just don't see him getting those numbers up this week. It's just not happening. So Tyreek Hill, you are also not entering the Meg Zone. And the final player who will not be entering the Meg Zone this week is Cooper Kupp.
Security.
He has not played a full season since 2021. Only 5.57 players aged 32 and above average 15 points per game in fantasy football. I'm not saying that he's never going to be the exception, but until we see him in action, I'm not willing to take that risk. So Cooper Kupp, I'm sorry, this week you are not getting into the Meg Zone. If you would like more hints and tips all about your fantasy teams, then follow me at ballers_meg across all social media platforms and drop me a shout. Let me know who is in your fantasy team this week.
Oh man, you too? I hate when I'm not in the Meg Zone.
I love that the AI made them both say that last line. That's and I don't know, when I play Sophistication tonight, it was the first time I noticed the AI. I don't know why, I just noticed the other day. Like, I put in a monocle for both guys, and the guy has just like a half set of glasses on the beginning, and the other guy, it's one glass, and then the other bit of his glasses are like going up his nose. It's so funny. I just noticed it today. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that.
AI gets funky sometimes.
A little bit funky with the cheese whiz for sure. All right, let's go.
Xavier Worthy officially out rest of the game, which we knew was coming, but it's official.
Yeah, for sure. Did not look good. And like you mentioned, he looked like he was in a lot of pain. So I think it was definitely at least a separated shoulder at the very least.
I think we're going to hear about a tear.
For sure. Titans at the Broncos. So Titans last year, pretty good defensively, 11th against QBs, 21st against running backs, 2nd against receivers, 3rd against tight ends. The Broncos, 12th against QBs, 3rd against running backs, 13th against receivers, and 11th against tight ends. All right, LeDuc, what say you on the visiting Titans?
Yeah, so I think you're safe to start Tony Pollard as a mid to back end RB2 flex guy. I like Chig as well, Chig Okonkwo, as kind of a streaming tight end, if you would. The guy I'm mostly watching this week, though, is definitely Iomana. I don't know how to say his name, whatever. He's number one on my sleeper list for the year, though. If you go to Fantasy Pros, they have sleeper rankings this year. He's number one on my wide receiver sleeper rankings this year, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. I think Calvin Ridley will have a good first game as far as fantasy points go, so he's someone you can safely start. Same thing, wide receiver 2 or 3. Like, keep your eye on Iomana or I don't know, whatever. That guy, you know who I'm talking about. Him. Keep an eye on him.
With the I in the name.
And Cam Ward looks like he could be legit, so we'll see how he progresses.
I said it all last season. I'm not a big college watcher, but and obviously I've watched a lot of Hurricane games. Cam Ward, to me, by far the most NFL ready QB coming out of college, by far. And by the way, a little update: the Chiefs are driving. They've had to go for it on 4th and 1 twice now. But getting it twice, so
Mahomes just got popped.
Oh, okay, and then that happened. All right, Justin, talk about those Broncos. What do you think? Who's some good guys we can start this week?
Rashee Rice cannot get back fast enough at this point.
God,
the Chiefs are going. How did that bribe not work?
Well, what's worse is Mahomes just got popped for nothing because he ran the ball and then got popped, and then there was a holding call that's bringing it back. So
that's excellent. I love it when good guys get their just dessert. But anyways, I think the Broncos are a sell on every position. I mean, no offense, the Titans are just kind of they're almost the Saints, but they have a quarterback and players with potential. So you want to play the Broncos defense most importantly, and then just go down the line. I feel like Sean Payton's going to want to get both his running backs some time. I would go more Dobbins this week just because it's the veteran. Sean tends to favor the veterans early on. Cortland Sutton's 100% Guy for me, Marvin Mims is not because he's been injured. But another guy to look out for rookie-wise is Pat Bryant. See what happens. He was a big slot his entire college career, so maybe he can become somebody they compared to Michael Thomas. But I think that's
kind of like when Justin was in college. He was a big slot too. All right, let's go to some actual interesting games this week. The Detroit
Good thing
Lions.
my wife doesn't watch this show.
The Detroit Lions at the Green Bay Packers. Detroit defensively last season, 23rd against QBs, 9th against running backs, 23rd against receivers, and 5th against tight ends. Green Bay, 6th against QBs, 18th against running backs, 5th against receivers, and 23rd against tight ends. So, Justin, what do you think of the Green Bay Packers?
Matthew Golden, that's pretty much where I'm at. Matthew Golden, Tucker Kraft. I want to throw Jordan Love out there, but I feel like it's way too early for his fucking ass to give me like 3 picks in one game. Yeah. And then you know what? Surprise, surprise. I'll throw out the Green Bay Packers defense. I think just kind of like Dallas was rejuvenated. I like the defense to kind of get a couple sacks, get a little swagger to them. Not a big, as I have said, I'm not a big Lions fan this year. I think they're not going to even touch the playoffs. So I think this is kind of a little regression point for them.
All right. Well, LeDuc, what do you think about the Lions this game?
This feels like a bit of a trap game for some of these Lions guys that I think fantasy owners might be leaning on. I think fantasy owners are going to be leaning a little too much on David Montgomery this week. Personally, he's not making a starting lineup for me, even in a flex spot. For some of the reasons Justin just said about the Packers defense, he feels too touchdown dependent, and I just don't see that being the case for the Lions this game. I feel the same way about Jameson Williams because he feels like a deep threat guy for them, and I'm not sure Goff's going to have that time. So if anybody, I feel like there's going to be a lot of Gibbs short catches, Amon-Ra St. Brown slants, and Sam Laporta, quick seam routes. But other than that, yeah, I'd say all those 3 guys I like, but my biggest worry is David Montgomery. I think too many people are going to be starting him as an RB2 that went 0 running back, and they're going to be disappointed this week.
I agree 100%. All right, let's go another good game at 4, the Houston Texans at the LA Rams. Houston last season, 15th against QBs, 10th against running backs, 11th against receivers, 16th against tight ends. The Rams, 13th against QBs, 17th against running backs, 9th against receivers. They were dead last against tight ends. All right, so what do you think, LeDuc? Give me some guys on that Houston Texan team you like.
Yeah, Nico Collins. This just feels like Houston's gonna. I think Houston's gonna be all right as the season goes on, but they feel like they need some time to kind of work their way into the season. And I'm high on the Rams this season, so I feel like this just has Rams written all over it this week. I don't really give the Texans too much of a chance at all this week, unfortunately. I hate their running back room. There's too much. Joe Mixon's not going to play. Nick Chubb is, Nick Chubb on bionic legs, and who knows between Woody Marsh and Dameon Pierce. There's nothing you can count on other than Nico Collins, and even that, I think, in this matchup this week, his ceiling is a wide receiver too, which sucks because you drafted him in the first or second round.
Houston, like the Commanders, kind of one of the same wait and see approach when it comes to that running back situation. See if Nick Chubb is back. We'll find out. If not, we're going to see which one of his replacements, or maybe we're in for a committee until Joe Mixon gets in the mix, so to speak.
Right.
All right. What do you think, LeDuc, about Justin, I'm getting the name screwed up tonight, about the Rams?
Gummies are kicking in early.
I wish.
I'm just gonna, I think I'm gonna do it, LeDuc. I'm just gonna write my name as LeDuc from now on, and then that's how we're gonna remember that this happened. But anyways, I unlike LeDuc, I'm actually the exact opposite. I like the Texans, and I hate the Rams this year. And you talk about bionic legs for Nick Chubb. how about capping epidural over there? Like this dude's getting the treatment of a pregnant woman.
This is true.
like legitimately, he's not even in his 40s, and people look at him and go, "Hey, Gramps, how you doing?" So I don't know. I like the Texans defense. I think that's a good defense to play this week. They're stacked everywhere. They got pass rushers. They've got secondary help. I don't think the Rams are totally out of it. I think you still play Kyron, and then kind of sucks if you would happen to have Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. Because any other year that'd be amazing, but this year it's kind of like cannibalizing itself. So if I were to pick, I would say go with the guy who he has camaraderie with, who he has a bond with already, and go with Puka, because one of those guys, in my opinion, is not getting the ball enough this week to validate their ADP. And I think it'll be Adams. I don't think he's in there.
I need Adams to get the ball more. Just go with that.
I like that call though, especially week one, the familiarity. Devonta Adams being new to it, so that's something. I'm
Damn it, Jay! Shut up.
I just woke her up from her siesta because we're gonna head out after this, and she's already giving me the evil eye over there. So yeah, I better watch my looks.
All you gotta do is every once in a while go Birds, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Remember last night, 1-0. All right, Ravens, the Sunday night delight. The Ravens at the Bills. Ravens last year, 28th against QBs, 4th against running backs, 30th against receivers, and 7th against tight ends. Bills, 8th against QBs, 28th against running backs, 19th against receivers, and they were 22nd against tight ends. So what do you think, Justin, about those Buffalo Bills?
I couldn't tell if you were playing with me or you legitimately thought about that.
No, that was because making a joke and screwing it up.
I love it. Buffalo. What do you say, Josh Allen? Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, no, you know what? I'll say James Cook. Surprisingly, the Ravens kind of have a weaker defense when it comes to the run game. Much better pass defense than and if you have to pick a wide receiver, why not just take a shot on if Keon Coleman actually becomes a thing? Shit, and there's worse shots you could take. And if that dude actually develops, why not?
Well, I believe Khalil Shakir was banged up, I believe Brian said, right?
Right.
Remember that, right? So, yeah.
I would have full confidence him in a flex spot. Wide receiver too. It depends on who I have, but I think in a flex position, I think it's a nice stab at it.
Wasn't Coleman on the? I think they both were questionable at the start of this week.
I think Coleman came out earlier in the week that he was okay, so I think that's why the talk about Khalil Shakir came up. But yeah, you're right. They both were a little banged up going into.
Coleman was limited today with a groin, so that's actually a little concerning. More concerning because groins tend to linger. And actually, you know what? It's opposite. Khalil Shakir was a full participant yesterday at practice.
There we go.
So I had it backwards.
Tomato. What do you know?
Okay, that changes everything. Start Dalton Kincaid now.
That's why you watch TSS. We can give you that on the fly. All right, let's finish it up with the Monday night game. The Vikings at the Bears.
Yeah, don't worry. Start Derrick Henry and Mark Andrews.
Oh, my bad.
He thought I was LeDuc. That's why he went on.
I look at that. I look at that game, honestly, and I'm like, I would pretty much start anybody in that one. I mean, honestly, they're gonna go. I think this will go, slugfest. I think so. I'm good with anybody in this matchup, quite frankly. All right, let's go. Let's finish it up. My bad, LeDuc, on the Vikings at the Bears. Vikings 4th against QBs, 12th against running backs. They're 31st against receivers and 20th against tight ends. The Bears, they're 2nd against QBs last year, 26th against running backs, number 1 against receivers, and 17th against tight ends. All right, LeDuc, it's your time to shine now. My bad. Talk about those Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I love me some J.J. McCarthy this year, and I love it in this first matchup against Chicago. Justin Jefferson, give me that. T.J. Hawkinson, give me. Obviously, those are easy starts, but J.J. McCarthy being a QB2 this week, I think, is legit. Feel comfortable starting him in Superflex or 2 QB leagues, and then it just out of pure gut. It feels like an Adam Thielen come home game. I feel like if there's going to be a week he pops, it's going to be the week 1. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. They're not at home. So actually, I take that back. That'll be at their first home game is when Adam Thielen will pop. But J.J. McCarthy and Justin Jefferson all day long, I think. And T.J. Hawkinson, I think, has a big game with Addison being suspended.
All right, Justin, you're big on these Bears going into the season. What do you think? Talk about them for Monday night.
To be fair, LeDuc, I think everybody in the NFC North claims to own the Bears, so that would mean that every time they're there, they're at home.
This is fair.
But actually, I love the Bears plays this week. Keep it simple, stupid. Do Caleb, do DeAndre Swift. Give me some DJ Moore. Sprinkle a little Dunze on that thing because I do think that this is going to be the most entertaining game of the week. Sprinkle a little Dunze on that. And then, I'm teetering. I really think that it's not going to be a breakout game, but I think it's going to be the game where we start to realize that Luther Burden truly is the number 3, the slot guy. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be a breakout game. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. But I think you're going to see a good amount of targets go to him, and people are going to be like, okay, this guy's going to be a part of the offense. I can see it.
It's going to be the clear game that he jumps Olamide Zaccheaus, is what you're saying, basically. Because I think that's I agree with you. I saw you post earlier in the week, and I was 100% on Burden. So I'm there with you.
I will say, though, you guys shit on Zaccheaus last year, and he popped off a little bit last year on occasion.
He pops off like 2 games a year, and a game that you don't expect him to in prime time, and then everyone gets their panties in a bunch and says, oh, my God, Olamide Zaccheaus, I can't say his name. Let me put him on my team.
You want me to give you a great comparison? He is literally the Rashid Shaheed of this team. And that's what Rashid Shaheed does. He pops off, and everyone's all excited. And then, the next couple of games, he's non-existent. So, that's what I'll say.
And you know what else they have in common? Neither one of them will ever be on my team.
Never sniffing this roster. All right. Well, speaking of your roster, our boy Andrew LeDuc is bringing out Mr. Mallard for week 1 sophisticated starts. Let's check it out.
It's time to bring some sophistication to your fantasy lineups with Mr. Mallard.
Week 1 is sure to be classy and sophisticated because you chose to take a stop at Sophistication Station this week. Let's jump right into some classy picks and plays for you. With the quarterback position and Baker Mayfield getting a hot start, I think, against the Atlanta Falcons in the Dome. Yes, it's on the road, but still in the Dome. That changes everything. Mayfield should be able to do whatever he wants against this Falcons defense. I know he's missing Chris Godwin and McMillan, but he still has Mike Evans. He's got the rookie Emeka Egbuka. He's got Bucky Irvin, Rashard White, K-Dot, and he's got all the weapons he still needs to have himself a day. I see Baker Mayfield being a top 5 quarterback in week 1. Now let's go over to the running back position. Chuba Hubbard, he's going to be playing Jacksonville, yes, on the road, but this offense is going to be looking to get things rolling and comfortable for Bryce Young. Hubbard is put strength on, he's muscle tone, he's a big guy, he's a team guy. He's going to run hard, and they're going to give him the ball as much as possible, especially now missing Adam Thielen. They're going to be trying to figure out that receiver room in that passing game a bit, so I expect them to lean on Chuba Hubbard in this first matchup against the Jacksonville defense that, once again, still not that exciting. And then let's go to another running back that I like this week, and Kenneth Walker against San Francisco at home, albeit. Kenneth Walker, they love to play against San Francisco. Kenneth Walker, same kind of scenario. They've kind of retooling, refiguring out what their passing game looks like with a new quarterback, minus DK Metcalf. I expect them to lean heavily on the running backs early on in the season. And Kenneth Walker, while he's healthy now, is going to get a lot of work and should find a lot of space to run against a somewhat poor San Francisco defense. So give me Baker Mayfield, give me Chuba Hubbard, give me Kenneth Walker. And as always, friends, stay classy.
Stay thirsty, my friends.
Now go win your fantasy matchup with class.
So now you notice the little nose ring.
Yeah. I will say, it's sophistication station season when it's New Boston Traffic and birds chirping in the background all day. It's what
Got to love it, my friend. All right, well, listen, guys, and go enjoy the rest of this game. Chargers threatening again. Up 10-3 right now. He just missed McConkey on a little so close.
I got him on my two main teams. I need that touchdown bad right now.
I was close, boy. All right, don't forget, wake up with us on Sunday morning. We're going to get that lineup set for you. We got all kind of great stuff for you on Sunday morning. We got betting advice. We got DFS rosters. We're going to do NFL pick'ems. And, of course, we got some fantasy friends to help you out get those lineups set as well. All right, guys. Yes.
You can join us officially for these tournaments.
Oh, yes.
Oh, indeed. Sorry. Go ahead. Plug it up, Justin. My bad.
Yes. No worries. No worries. So we are officially doing our TSS Gauntlet Challenge as well as our Wake Up Always with Us every single week DFS Challenge. So we are going to be doing a pick'em and a DFS. Links will be in the description of the Sunday show. So make sure you tune in Sunday because we will shout you out if you do good, as well as shouting out whoever does terrible in it, which is usually either me or Freddie. So so just tune in to TSS on Sundays. It's going to be great. You can play against us, and you can show us that you know way more than we do. We already knew that, but,
Let's be honest. You're trying to beat me. Let's be honest.
Wake up with us on Sunday mornings. It is the best way to get your NFL Sunday started, for sure.
If only I could be mistaken for you, Leduc, on the pick'em days. That would be amazing.
Especially on the DFS. That's for damn sure. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in tonight. We will see you Sunday morning. Thank God football's back. We appreciate you, and we are out.